Welcome to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Lorianne Casdia. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. Welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. I am a life and business transformational success coach, and I help empower others to find and embrace their life purpose, live their highest vision, and forge a strong foundation to soar to success. For more information, you can reach us at ldcstrategies.com or loriannecasdia.com. Today on our show, I'm really excited to say that we have a woman that I have admired from afar for many, many years. She is Judy Pascale. She is our Suffolk County Clerk. She's been a lifelong resident of Suffolk County, and Judy has experienced the ever-changing demographics and culture of Long Island, haven't we all, right? Her civic, business, and governmental experience has really prepared her well for her role as Suffolk County Clerk. She was appointed to this position of Suffolk County Clerk by New York State Governor George Pataki in March of 2006 and holds the designation as being the first woman to have earned this appointment in the history of Suffolk County Clerk's office. She was subsequently elected in 2006 and reelected ever since then. Judy has earned so many awards as Suffolk County Clerk. Her office was awarded in 2006 Knowledge Management Award by Federal Computer Week, and the 2006 Computer World Honors Program by InfoWorld, and the Best of New York Award by Government Technology. In 2010, the award-winning tradition continued with the prestigious Computer World Honors Laureate Award, placing in the top 5 after competing with hundreds of organizations throughout the United States and across the globe. In addition, the clerk's office was awarded the 2010 Achievement Award from the National Association of Counties, and these awards were bestowed upon the county clerk's office for innovative programming and creativity in bringing government closer to the people, which I can't wait to talk to Judy more about. And Judy's really made her career of protecting and safekeeping of government records as her number one priority, and was successful in securing funding for this purpose. She was taking the lead, working with members of the state legislature in amending New York State real property law that will allow the clerk's office throughout the state to prohibit the use of personal information on public records. Judy has really been active in the community, continues to be active in the community, and I really want to talk to her about so many of the initiatives she has really brought to our county and served as our county clerk. So welcome to the show, Judy, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Lorianne. This is great.
I'm so pleased to have you here. You know, I don't know if you know this, but I've been an admirer of you. You're a strong, intelligent, really go-getter of a clerk and of a human being and a woman. You really are a great leader, and I have admired you and have emulated and have some of my really good tools as a result of you. So thank you for being here. It means a lot.
Oh, that's very, very sweet. You know, we talk about the glass ceiling, and I'd like to say that, you know, what we do, this is a sorority, and what we do for women everywhere. I was the first woman ever to be appointed as the Chief Deputy County Clerk, and as you mentioned, I was the first woman ever to be appointed by the Republican Governor Pataki to serve as the county clerk, and then I ran successfully for my own term and have run successfully ever since. And there's a lot of changes.
Well, in 1995, I don't want to miss this, you were appointed Chief Deputy County Clerk by the then County Clerk Ed Romaine in 1995. So this isn't your first rodeo.
No, it's not. No, I worked for Ed. I started in the office as a senior deputy in charge of court actions, and then became the chief deputy for Ed Romaine in 95, and that was I worked for him for 16 years, and that was a great experience. But a lot of changes have taken place in the county clerk's office since I became the county clerk, and I kind of saw that this was coming, and the use of technology was imminent, and we have adapted to that. We've not only adapted it, we've exceeded. You know, the county clerk's office is it's typically a low-key office that most people don't really talk about, but I venture to say that the county clerk's office has we have the most relationship with the most residents in Suffolk County. Anybody that owns property in Suffolk County has a relationship with our office.
Yeah, let's back up for a second. What does the county clerk's office actually do? I mean, I know of the paperwork that you do, volumes of paperwork.
It's a lot of paper, yes. It used to be a lot of paper, but we've transitioned. The county clerk wears three hats. I'm the clerk of the county, obviously in charge of land records. Mm-hmm. I'm also the clerk of county and Supreme Court, and I'm also the records management officer, also known as the RMO. And in that role, I have a responsibility to protect the county's historic records. And that's been done. We have a historic documents library where we preserve the county's oldest records going back to like the 1600s. Wow. We have a humidity controlled room and we also have an archivist, a person that's dedicated to preserving the county's historic records. So it's a kind of a trifold responsibility, and it's a very diverse job. Is it a high profile job? No, it's not. But it's okay because, like I like to say, we protect probably your most important material asset, and that is your property.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you have been a trailblazer, not only in technology, but in how you're running it. You've really made that office very, very efficient. One of the things that I know hit home for me, no pun intended, is the homeowner's watch list. I think that is so innovative, and it really protected me. And why don't you explain to the listeners what that project is and how they can help themselves? And then I'll explain a little bit of what transpired for me.
Okay, well, the homeowner's watch list, or what we like to call HOWL, HOWL, is something that my IT department developed. And we saw the need that if anything happens, any activity occurs on your property, if you sign up, you can go on our website and find out how to sign up for it. We will alert you automatically if any activity has happened. And that's kind of a preventive. I mean, I know you see things like on TV about, you want to protect this, protect that. This is a free service that we offer from the Suffolk County Clerk's office. And anytime anything happens on your property, whether you satisfy a mortgage or whether you file something, you will get a notification via email that an activity occurred on your property. Which, in these days of cybersecurity and these days of, identity theft, we thought that would be a very vital tool for people because, there's a lot of scams going on out there. Yeah. And we thought that this would be a great way to prevent that, give homeowners in Suffolk County some peace of mind.
And it really does, because I can tell you firsthand that I had gotten information to sign up for this. So I signed up. I was like, okay, I don't even know how this works. I signed up, and then recently I received an alert, a notification from your office saying that something happened on my property. And I started to get a little nervous. So I went on, and sure enough, I had satisfied something, and it was just registering the satisfaction of that on my account. And it gives you peace of mind, Judy. So thank you so much for putting that into place and giving us the ability to sleep at night, knowing that we'll hear about it and then we could do something if we need to. Let me just fast forward to some other things. I mentioned a boatload of awards that your office has won since you've been in charge of the county clerk. Can we talk about how many awards have you won?
Well, we've won the Best of New York 3 times. Not just once, and that's from the Center for Digital Government. That's a 3-time award. I don't know of any other county clerk's office that has won that multiple times. We've been named the Municipal Leader of the Year, Municipality of the Year from InfoWorld. We've received so many. I mean, you listed them in the beginning. We've received so many awards, and it's not something that we brag about, but I do like to brag about it because that's a result of having a great staff. I don't take the credit for all of that. I think, you're only as good as the staff. And I think one of the things that I've been very lucky with and blessed with is the fact that I have been able to hire the best and the brightest. My Association of Municipal Employees, which is the union that oversees the county workforce, they are dedicated. And I said this earlier to somebody else. I said, when government is very, very difficult to navigate.
Yeah.
And when you go into a government office, you expect, people don't have high expectations. And I can't tell you the number of times that people come up to the front office and say, I need to speak to you. And, usually you don't know whether that's going to be good or bad. And I must tell you that, no, seriously.
Yeah.
And I like to hear the feedback from both. And I'm going to say 99 and 9/10% of the time, it's people that are absolutely amazed at the level of service that they received from what they term a government employee. And they all do. They go the extra mile.
Yeah.
And that says a lot. That says a lot about the workforce.
Well, it not only says a lot about the workforce, but it also says a lot about leadership. And I, as a business coach, success coach, I can tell you that it is from the top down. So if you have a really strong leader who has expectations and a staff that implements those expectations, you get these great, wonderful results. And your office really does make it easy for us to get our documents out. You can get so many of the documents online now. I remember back in the day when they were poo-pooing you and you're saying, no, it has to go digitally. We need it digitally. This is crazy. We need to make it easier for the people to get to their own documents. And you could go on and get a whole host of your own information and know where you stand, from liens to other documents. Totally brilliant. What had you go down that road? Are you just a supreme organizer?
I know. Well, I'd like to say that I am. It's a lot of input from the staff. It's a lot of input from the management team. One of the things that people expect from their government is transparency.
Yes.
And we have received a grade A+ in transparency from the Press of Long Island. And I think that's a responsibility that every elected official needs to produce. It's when I'm going to say 16, 17 years ago, we were an extremely paper-intensive office.
Right.
And we saw it coming. We saw that technology was going to take over, and we just adapted to that need. And it's worked out very well. Like I said, it's a lot of great staff, and transparency is what it's all about. That's what people expect, and that's what they expect that from their elected officials. You know, and I'm going to say we transitioned from an extremely paper-intensive office to an electronic format.
Yeah.
So, 65% of our land recordings are currently done electronically.
Wow.
Over 90% of our new court action filings are being done electronically. So, and that's we have partners. We have partners with the state, New York State, in terms of the electronic filing of court documents. We had to get buy-in from the legal community. I didn't want to jump into anything without first talking to the legal community, the attorneys that use the office,
right,
because I wanted to make sure that they were comfortable with it. And of course, we had a cooperation from the court system, and it's worked out very, very well. And it's just something that the times have changed so drastically. And I will tell you this: that when COVID hit, thank goodness that we had this electronic format.
Yes.
Because we were told we had to go down, we had to cut down 75% of the staff. Then a few days later, everybody remembers COVID.
Sure.
Then it was 50% of the staff, then 25% of the staff. So, the real estate economy is the wheel that keeps this county going. And we couldn't do anything to jeopardize that. So luckily, we were ready, and within 24 to 48 hours, we were able to transition to an off-site format. We sent employees home. They were able to work off-site. The title community, who occupied our building every day, over 100 of them, we were able to set them up off-site. So the real estate economy kept going. And it was also, like I say, the perfect storm, because during COVID, not only was everything shutting down, people were moving to Suffolk County. Yeah. So we had to be able to accommodate that, and we did. And it's one of our nicest accomplishments, because I will tell you that if you look at the numbers we were able to produce during the COVID period, you would never know COVID hit Suffolk County.
It's amazing, because you had droves of people coming out from New York City moving into Suffolk County.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There was a mass exodus out to Suffolk County.
Yep.
And, it really proved itself, it proved its worth 1,000 times over.
But that
So
experience
we were very happy.
that experience and those things that you put into place, Judy, that technology that you had the foresight of putting into place, and you really went with it, and you actually you were swimming upstream in some cases where people were pushing against you. Oh, you don't need it. Oh, you don't need it. You've improved the amount of time it takes for us to obtain our information, or for people to be able to get access to their own paperwork, or to get those documents up on file. I mean, you've gone from being a year long before it gets up there to really short lead times for us to put the paper in and have it become in the ledger and on the computer or digitally. So that time period and having the foresight to do that comes with experience. And how many years have you been in here? Since 1995, right?
Actually, no, I was there before that too. So I've spent a lot of years there.
Yeah.
I've seen the office transition, like I said, from a very, very paper. I mean, we used to talk about the bucket.
Yeah.
How many buckets are in the safe? We used to talk about that, and now it's a totally different operation, and it's one that's very user friendly. And like I said, we have a help desk. If you are having a problem, we have a help desk for anybody that is having difficulty signing on. We have a call center that we've established, and there are people that are just dedicated to answering phone calls about questions, because like I said, government is very difficult to navigate.
Yes, it is.
I can't tell you how many calls we get, how many questions we get. I need a stop sign. I need a peddler's license. Where do I get my marriage certificate? We don't do any of those things.
Right.
So, and like I said, there are different levels of government. And as you know, as a former government worker, different levels of government provide different services. So one of the good things about our call center is that these people are very experienced, and they will tell you, oh, no, you have to go to the town, you have to go to your village, you have to,
which is really important, because you help us unravel the questions, because most people don't know how the levels of government work. And I remember I had been working at one time for a councilman, and they kept calling him a congressman, and I'm like, no, he's a councilman. Yeah. Different, very different.
Yes.
So
yeah, I remember that, and that's what I mean about it's confusing. It's like, how do I get a stop sign on my And it's like, well, okay, you have to call, and then they call the town, and, the town has their own different divisions. So, my goal has been to try to make government easier to navigate. And I think we've done that. And, we've tried to provide the services that people expect from their government. And like I said before, I can't tell you how many times people come up to me and say, thank you so much. So-and-so was so helpful. And, they're surprised. It's like, she went the extra mile. She helped me. And, that's so good to hear. And I go to different events, as you know. And, I was at an event, I guess, when I saw you last week, and 2 attorneys came up to me. Yeah. And that was one of my concerns when we went to the electronic format, because a couple of attorneys, said to me, don't go to electronic because I'll retire. No. Give it. Yeah, seriously. I said, give it a try. And I will tell you that 2 attorneys came up to me the other night, said, we love your office. My stuff is, my documents get on quickly. They're very helpful. It's so efficient. So I love to hear that, because that's what we're supposed to be doing as elected officials. We take an oath. And the oath is, we have a fiduciary responsibility to deliver the kind of government that these people elected us to deliver.
Sure.
And that's I'm very, very confident that that's what we're doing. And it's always good to hear. It's always good to hear. But like I said, I did hear from some people that said, if you go to electronic, because people are, nobody likes change.
Change is scary.
These same attorneys come up to me now and they say, we love it. We love it. That one attorney last week, as a matter of fact, I went on a show with him the other day, and he came up to me and he saw my name tag. He said, I love you. And I said, well, I love you too, but I don't know who you are. And he said, and he was an attorney that had practiced, continues to practice, but he did a lot of practice with federal government, federal filings. Now, federal filings have been mandatory electronically filed for a long time.
Right.
So to make that transition, he didn't mind the transition because he was used to it. but I did get some pushback from some attorneys that were concerned about it. And now those same attorneys will come up to me and tell me, I love it. I love it. It's great. Because you can do it from your home. You can do it, and like I said, this was an absolute blessing. It was a godsend when COVID hit.
Yeah.
So the real estate market did not, even though we experienced a surge in sales, we did not experience any. There wasn't even a blip on the radar screen. We were able to produce, and actually, it was one of our best years in terms of bringing, to the general fund.
Yeah, I love that you're open for taking suggestions, input. You're constantly researching to make things better. Judy, we're going to take a really quick break. You're listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lori-Ann. We have Suffolk County Clerk Judy Pascale on explaining what her office does, and it's a lot of things, by the way. And we're going to come back and talk more with Judy about the other initiatives she has, programs and services that the Suffolk County Clerk's office offers to all of us every day. We will be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lori-Ann. I am Lori-Ann Casdia. If you would like to be a guest or lift up your business, products, or not-for-profit, or if you have a question or comment, we would love to hear from you. Please email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. That's healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. Love hearing from you all. It's really exciting. Many of our guests come from your suggestions, one of which was our guest today, Judy Pascale, Suffolk County Clerk. Unbelievable office, doing so many things, making our lives easier and better, even through this past challenge that we had. Judy, thank you so much for being on. And I want to talk about some other projects and programs that you have instituted since you've been there for a gazillion years, because I don't do math. So some of the other programs that you do.
Well, one of the things a few years ago when we were all experiencing a shortage, when there was a financial issue in the county, and we were all encouraged to do our shared services. One of the shared services that we coupled with was the comptroller, who is currently John Kennedy.
Sure.
We actually produced a system by which people can check their tax maps and things like that. My IT department kind of really took them under their wing. So we do a lot of shared services with the comptroller, and that's proven to be great, because during COVID, when people had to pay their taxes, we actually set up a computer terminal with one of John's employees, and they were able to pay their taxes at the county center in the lobby. So it's a lot of it's all about business continuity. It's all about shared services, whatever we can do to help, and it is one county government, and whatever we can do to help other elected officials in getting their things out there for the use of the public, we're more than happy to do.
What's one of your favorite stories about the work that you do? What's one of your favorite stories about the county clerk's office?
One of my favorite stories, I don't know if it's a favorite, but when you spoke earlier about how I lobbied the state for the protection of personal identifiable information. And there was a time, and this seems to go in cycles. Every once in a while, these letters will go out from these companies telling people, you must get a copy of your deed from us. If you don't get a copy of your deed, your identity can be stolen, your house can be taken. And they were charging anywhere from $39 to $79 to, I don't know, I think one was $129. Wow. And I had a fit, because I said, first of all, there's only one place you're getting a copy of that deed, and that's from my office.
Right.
And it's if you want a certified copy of your deed, it's $5. And if you want it certified, but you can always get a copy of your deed for free. And I thought that this was a scam, and I reported it to the other county. There's 62 counties in New York State.
Oh, wow.
And I reported it to the other county clerks, and some of them had similar issues. And we lobbied the state to say that, we wanted a little caveat put on the bottom of these mailings, saying that, you can get a copy of your deed from the county clerk's office. And I will tell you that more than on one occasion, I'd see people, coming into the building and running down the hallway with this letter because they put these people in panic mode.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to steal my property. And, when I say, okay, just calm down, we're going to give you a copy of your deed. Your identity's not going to be stolen. But, I mean, this is what happens. And there's a scam, there's a scam for everything. And that was one of the things that I was very happy that we were able to kind of, squash and put on any of these letters. And like I said, they go in cycles. Every once in a while, they'll start going out. People will come in. And now I think they realize that, this is not something that I need to do, and nobody's going to steal your property. And, and we were able to calm these people down. So,
yeah.
And we've expanded our website tremendously. So if somebody is, wants to look at anything, I mean, we're constantly improving it.
And what's the website?
Improving our website. Oh, okay. Well, I knew you were going to ask.
Suffolk County Clerk?
It's Suffolk County Clerk, yes.
.gov, right? It's Suffolk County, actually, it's SuffolkCountyNY.gov, right?
It's SuffolkCountyNY.gov.
Right.
Yes. And it'll bring you to the county website. It'll bring you to the county clerk. You can go on the county clerk website, which is probably a little bit easier. But if you do go to the county website, it will show you the different departments, the different elected officials, and then it will take you to mine.
Yeah, if you want to go direct, you could do SuffolkCountyNY.gov /clerk, and that brings you right to Judy Pascale's office, where you can get, there's so much information you could get. You could get a certified copy. You can get older copies. You could look up businesses. You could look up court actions. You could look up a notary. You could look up judgments. There's annual reports on there. There's just all your programs and services. Everything is up there. You even have some history of Suffolk County, which I love, up there on the site as well. So you have a lot of information up there. And the one thing that and this is my personal opinion on it, but I believe other people agree with me, is that this office requires continuity, consistency, and leadership. And that is definitely what you have offered over the last, 20 something years, if not more. I love that you do this. Why do you do this, Judy?
Why do I do it? What they say, if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And I do love my job. I do love the people that work with me. And I always say that, and I actually have a sign in my office that says, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I'm very serious, and I truly believe that, and that's why you hire the best and the brightest. And I've hired a couple of attorneys because we deal with most of what we deal with is legal issues.
Right.
I have an attorney that oversees court actions. He's a former magistrate. I have another attorney who oversees the recording area, and, they answer questions every single day. And as we've moved into, particularly in court actions, protocols had to be written to work with the state. Protocols had to be written for us to be in conformance with the court. And my attorney, who works in court actions, he's a deputy, he actually wrote many of the protocols.
Wow.
So that kind of grease the wheels in getting, because a lot of what we do, obviously we need approval from the state to do a lot of things.
Right.
And it worked out really well. So I'm very pleased with the staff. I'm very pleased with the progress. And I just think it's, like I said, if you love your job, you never work a day.
Yeah. You have a top shelf staff without a doubt.
I do.
But again, that points back to you, Judy, because you hired this top shelf staff. You set the standards of bringing really high level people in here who are very, very qualified. In some cases, I would think overqualified, because they are so good at what they do, and they're so compassionate and so kind, and will help anybody find something. And I know I've been in the office where I was picking something up for myself, and kind of oversaw somebody else getting taken care of who was very, very emotional at the time. And the kindness, the generosity of just thoughtfulness and generosity of time was just overwhelming. So I applaud you for what you do. What's your why? Why do you do what you do? Other than, I know you love what you do, but why do you do what you do?
I just think we're all here for a purpose. We're put here for a purpose. And, this is the plan that's been had for me. And I think that you just do the best you can with the plan that's been put in place for you. and that's why I do it. I do it because I get satisfaction out of helping people. I get satisfaction out of trying to unravel the red tape that is so often related to government. People actually dread having to go to a government office. I hear people say, "Oh, I have to go to DMV." By the way, I don't have DMV, and I'm going to go into that in a minute.
Okay.
People dread it. People actually dread going to a government office because they think it's going to be such a hassle. And that's what I'm so happy about, the fact that when they come to my office, they don't get that hassle.
Because you provide solutions, Judy. Your office provides solutions.
And that's why people actually seek me out, and I walk through the halls all the time, and people will seek me out, and they'll say, "Oh, I was," half the time they don't remember the person's name because I'll say, "Oh, who was it? Oh, she was a blonde lady," and
yeah.
Which is fine. It's fine, but I think that's what government is supposed to do. I think
agree.
That's why people elect us. Okay,
I agree.
And when you say, like sometimes I'll get up and I'll say, "Well, okay, I don't do marriage certificates. I can't perform marriages. I don't give out dog licenses. I don't do this. I don't do that." And they said, "Well, what do you do?" Because the town clerk and the county clerk's positions, both very vital, very important positions, are totally different.
Sure.
They're totally different.
You have vital over in the towns. You have, real estate and legal documents over in the county, right? There's a little bit of a discernment. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big discernment.
Yep.
I mean, the only similarity is the word clerk. So,
okay.
No, it's really the only similarity. I mean, it's really, they're both administrative roles, but the specific duties and responsibilities are totally different. So, while I applaud, all of the town clerks and the village clerks, they all do a great job. The county clerks there's only one county clerk, and my responsibilities are totally different from their responsibilities. Yeah. So, when people, I'm not allowed to perform marriage ceremonies. So,
you don't set legislation. You don't set laws.
I don't set laws. I don't raise taxes.
Right.
No, truly, people ask me that, did you raise my taxes? I don't set taxes. It really is an administrative role. Yeah. And it's one that's really very, very important because, like I said earlier, I have an attachment to more residents in Suffolk County than many other government offices.
And you're a fiscal watchdog. I don't mean to cut you off, but you really are a fiscal watchdog. And I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I recall your first budget included a 0% budget increase along with a cut in management salaries by $500,000. So you went in there fiscally responsible. You continue to be fiscally responsible. And I think I would be very prideful of providing a really high constituent service level that you do in your office in such a way that you're problem solvers. You don't say, "Yeah, that's not my job." Your office doesn't say, "Yeah, that's not my job. That's not us."
No.
You send them and point them in the right direction and unravel the red tape and the confusion that one might have when typically dealing with a government office. And I applaud you for that as well.
Yeah, no, it's really been a wonderful experience. It's one that I'd like to continue. I think we've done, like I said, from the first time I walked into that office to today, it's absolutely amazing how much progress that we've made.
Yeah.
And it's something like I'm very, very proud of it.
You should be.
I'm a firm believer that if you take a job or if you get elected to, or if you run for an office or you get elected to an office, your responsibility to the people that elected you is to leave it better than you found it.
Totally agree.
And I can say that this office from the day, there's been some wonderful county clerks. We know some of them. But I think the most progress that this office has seen in the 300 plus years of its existence has been in the last 15, 16 years.
Absolutely markedly improved.
I've seen it. I've witnessed it.
Yeah. And you've been part of it. You've been the reason for it. You've been the leader on it. You're the and you lead from behind. And I love that about you. You let your staff do what they do. You rely on your staff and you appreciate their talents. And you may come up with an idea, or collectively your office does, and then you send your staff to go make it happen. And I love that. I just want to shift gears for a second. I see you all over Suffolk County. I don't know if you own rollerblades or what's going on, but every time I go someplace, there you are. You're like that news van. You remember that commercial, that Channel 7 news van that just pops up everywhere? You are all over the place. Why do you spend your personal time doing that?
Well, you have to ration your time. But there are 10 towns in Suffolk County. I cover Melville to Montauk. So when you have 10 towns in Suffolk County, you like to show up and see. I like to get a feel of what's going on in each of the different towns.
Right.
Like I like to spend some time in Huntington. I like to spend some time in Smithtown. I like to spend some time in Brookhaven. So, and out east is the same thing. Southold, Southampton. So, I like to see what's going on. I get all the papers from each of the towns, so I get to read about what's going on and who needs what and who's doing what.
Right.
It's a huge district. Suffolk County is very big.
But that goes back to Go ahead.
We're one of the busiest county clerk's offices in the state.
Yeah, I could believe that because you're one of the largest too.
Yeah, we're one of the busiest. Geographically, we're one of the largest, and it's something that you just have to stay on top of.
Yeah.
So I like to go. I like to go to different areas, and you brought up Howell, the homeowners watch list.
Sure.
And I was in Huntington, and a couple of people came up to me. Actually, he was a former judge. And he said, I love this. You have to tell more people about it. I love it. You got to, and it's free. It's a free service.
Yeah.
There's not much that you can get that's free.
That's true.
And, so we're trying to promote that and get more and more people to enroll in it and to sign on for it. So it's things like that. And I like to hear the feedback and what concerns everybody, what people are looking for and what their concerns are. And, like I said, we're one of the busiest county clerk's offices in the state, and we're one of the largest revenue producers in Suffolk County. I mean, we collect for many state agencies. We collect for New York State Taxation and Finance. We collect for a court revenue for the state comptroller. We collect mortgage tax for the 10 towns. We collect CPF, which is community preservation money. That's for the 5 East End towns.
Right.
So we collect for notaries. It's a very diverse office. So there's never a dull moment, and there's never a day. And whenever I see a new employee and I go meet them, and I say, there will never be a day that you come to work and you will have nothing to do. Yes. There's never going to be a day like that. Sometimes I say, I don't know what I'm going to do today. I don't have any work to do. There's never going to be a day like that.
Yeah. And I love your commitment to it. I love your commitment to the people. I love that you have that fierce consideration of the people who put you where you are right now, and you really serve them. I'm a true believer, and I think you and I spoke about it briefly. My book is coming out July 20th. True believer that we're here to serve, and you show that on a daily basis, going all over the 10 towns in this large county. And again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but you're open for suggestions. You listen, you hear, you look for what the need is, and then you make a program happen to support that requirement or need, from turning all that paper into digital to, going around and creating programs and projects like Howell, the homeowners watch list. So I really encourage anybody listening, please go to suffolkcountyny.gov/clerk. Please go there. If you're a homeowner, you have a deed, please sign up for this homeowners watch list, because it will let you sleep at night. You won't have to worry about scammers, because you got the clerk's office on top of it because of Suffolk County Clerk Judy Pascale. So I'm just so proud of you. And I really appreciate you being the leader, the thought leader that you are, being the strong woman that you are, showing us how strong women and leaders could be, and women can be leaders, because sometimes people think women can't be. And you are the fiercest leader I've ever met. And I really do respect you, Judy.
Thank you so much. We have an obligation, and I'm not going to harp on the women thing, but I firmly believe that we have an obligation that if you're in a position to help other women, particularly, we have a responsibility to do that. And I've tried to do that as well. I don't know if we have any time, but I have a very quick story. That a woman came to me. She was, she was interviewing for a job, and she was down on her luck, and she had just gotten out of an abusive relationship, and she said, I really need this job. And, was she the first person that I would have hired? No, but I gave her this shot, couple of years later, she came back to me and she said, I have an opportunity to go somewhere else. I'm going to make more money, blah, blah, blah. And I feel bad. And I said, nope. I said, you were broken when you got here and look at you now. And she said, I don't know how to thank you. I said, pay it forward.
Yes.
Pay it forward.
Yes.
If you have the opportunity to help another woman, pay it forward. And I saw her at an event a few years later. She came up to me. She said, you remember me? I said, I certainly do. She said, I'm paying it forward. I said, good girl.
Oh, that's
and
wonderful.
That's what I think. Yeah. And I mean, it's things like that make the aggravation and make all the other craziness that's involved in this business. It's things like that
Agreed.
That matter.
Constituent service was my favorite part of my job when I was there.
And you did that very well, too, I might add.
Thank you very much for saying that. So, Judy, thank you. It has been an honor to have you on the show. Thank you for spending this time with us, explaining what the county clerk's office does. Thank you for all the projects and programs you've put into place that really benefit us as constituents and residents of Suffolk County and actually other counties, because you've been the trailblazer that other counties have emulated. We failed to mention that part as well. It's an award-winning office, and I truly appreciate you. I hope we can have you back on in a couple of months, and we can talk more about some other initiatives you have. Thank you again.
Love it. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I know you have a lot of choices, and my heart is lifted by you choosing to share this time with us. I want to thank again our guest today, Suffolk County Clerk Judy Pascale. She is a rock star. And if you are looking for a business coach, accountability strategy, direction, a sounding board, someone to help you streamline your business or more, or you're not sure how you feel about something like that, feel free to reach out to me, 516-983-3591. I'd love to put you on the right trail, the right path. So let's see if it's a good fit, and I could certainly help you soar to success. Thank you again for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. Look for our show next Saturday at 3 p.m. Until next time, I am Lorianne Casdia. Play a higher role, serve a higher purpose, show up, and show up big for you. Bye-bye. Have a great day.